Hi, and welcome to Restored by Polish, where we talk about how polish helps us with our overall mental and physical well-being. I'm Krista.
I'm Jacqueline.
And we're so excited because, as you can tell, we're in a weird spot, actually in my dining room. But we are going to be doing a Zoom call in just a couple minutes here with Jo from Polish Talk, which I was telling her earlier, it's like, you know, fangirl. Like, I'm so excited.
You're like a huge fangirl.
Yes, I know. Because she's like one of the YouTubers that I was like one of the first ones I followed when I first started like realizing that people actually talked about nail polish on YouTube, which I thought was so wild. So it's super exciting, but we're gonna be doing this with Jo. She has teamed up with us for our next awareness set. We're gonna be talking about anxiety and depression. We're gonna swatch those polishes, talk a little bit with Jo about her experience with anxiety and depression, go over some statistics, and just have a little bit of fun with these new polishes that Jacqueline has created.
Yes,
so
we're excited to show them.
So just stick right with us and we'll get started with Jo. Thanks.
Awesome.
Well, welcome Jo. She's here with us today. I'm so excited because it's like, for me, it's like fangirl because, you know, I've watched for so long and it just makes me so excited to be able to do like that we're doing a video together. Like that's me.
I know, I'm excited too. I'm really excited for like, I feel like I've been holding all these secrets from people, like with all this stuff I have going on, and now I'm
exactly like, oh, can't tell you this is coming out. And for us too, I feel like we've kind of gotten behind the 8 ball a little bit. We were like putting out the awareness polishes, and then we kind of came to a standstill. You had a new puppy, the holidays came around, and then we were really wanting to do this particular one, anxiety and depression, and then we know you were having your issues and going through health things, and so yeah, because I think we started this out for November, and so now here we are in March because, you know, life, right? We just have life.
Yeah, I know. I felt so bad because I was like, oh my gosh, I was feeling good, and then like everything went south, and then now it's starting to come back.
That's laid plans sometimes, right? Well, we're glad that you are feeling better. I know it's recovery's a little bit slower than you'd like, but we're glad that you're doing better. So So I thought I just want to open up and let's just talk about what is anxiety and depression? That was one thing we were talking about that as we were walking
today, trying to define it.
Like, how would you define it? And I do have like official descriptions of it, but what would you say, Jo? How would you just define anxiety and depression?
For me, the anxiety is just like a lot of like a brain activity. Like my brain is always going. I'm always looking into the future, like what's next? How can I handle this? What should I worry about now? Let me plan for this. So it's like just a lot of like really intense brain activity. And then for me, sometimes I also get like, I guess what I would call like an irrational thought. So I get these random irrational thoughts and then I go into rumination. So basically, like I'll have just something totally random come into my head, like what if I drive off a cliff? Like I've had that thought on the way to work before because there's a lot of cliffs. And then I'm like, well, what does this thought mean? Does this thought mean something? Or like, why would I think that? Why am I thinking this? What's wrong with this thought? And I can stay like that for hours till I finally am like, okay, no, stop it.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, I also get panic attacks, or I used to get panic attacks. I haven't had any in a while, but and then it's a lot of body sensations as well. So I get like a feeling in my throat, like I can't swallow correctly. That's my like major #1 symptom. I also get numb hands. I get like hot flashes and cold flashes. I also get the shakes. Like I'll just start shaking for no reason, and then it just has to kind of like work itself out. So there's a lot of physical symptoms as well, but for me it mostly starts with like looking into the future, trying to control things that I really can't control.
Yeah, no, I've looked before, I mean, even before all this, and the list of physical symptoms for anxiety is like 3 pages long. I mean, in single space. I mean, there are so many different physical symptoms. But definitely, I think you hit it right on the head there. The way that they defined it was irrational thoughts that kind of preoccupy your mind is basically how they talk about, they define anxieties as having these irrational thoughts. And I kind of do the same thing sometimes, although mine focuses mostly on my children. For some reason, it's always my children. And I think it's because they were all born prematurely, and ever since then, from that scare of them being premature, my anxiety like manifested in the fear of something's going to happen to my children.
And I think the anxiety knows, or your brain knows, you know, what what parts of your life are most important to you, or like what things of your life are most important to you, and sometimes it attacks you in those areas, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, no, and it is, it's definitely irrational. My older son and I, when we went across the country this year, we stopped in Yellowstone, and we got out of the car at one point, and it really wasn't that bad, but he was walking towards like the edge, like beyond the barrier, and I like flipped out. And I remember him being like, what is wrong with you? But I was so terrified that he was going to fall, but it wasn't like he was even close, but that feeling of like, oh my gosh, something is going to happen. So yeah, I agree with the whole like irrational thinking. That definitely.
And what's crazy is once you're like kind of out of the mode, like you think back on the thought and you're like, that was crazy. And I can't believe I like devoted hours of my life to like actually worrying about that. Yeah, and then you feel like you're crazy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's why am I doing this to myself? Yeah. Which I guess is kind of weird because the fact that we can think back on it and talk, and that part obviously we are probably more in control of it than we know, because I guess since we can think back on it and kind of analyze what's going on. What about depression? How do we describe depression?
So I feel like depression for me was like really, sorry, like just a lack of motivation. I was tired a lot. Just like you have these things that you normally enjoy doing, and then you do them and you're just kind of like, it didn't hit the spot kind of thing. I don't think I have any kind of like, severe depression. I know there's people who have very severe depression. I feel like mine was more tied to the anxiety. Because the anxiety can get very hopeless, right? Like every day you wake up. For me, when my anxiety first hit 10 years ago, I probably went for a full year of having, 5 to 6 panic attacks a day.
Wow.
And I lost 30 pounds in like a few months. And just waking up every day and knowing you're going to have to like fight that fight sucks like the joy out of your life, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be extremely tiring for sure. On the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, they describe depression as a condition in which a person feels discouraged, sad, hopeless, unmotivated, or disinterested in life in general for more than 2 weeks, and when the feelings interfere with daily activities. So yeah, you pretty much just described exactly what they said they think the definition of is as well, is that unmotivation, and when it interferes with daily life. I think that's like a key feature for sure. When you're not doing the thing, or you're doing the things that you normally would bring you joy, and they're not giving you joy, and then you just decide to not do them anymore.
Right. It's like a slippery slope.
Absolutely.
And then you just don't
very slippery slope. And I feel like I have anxiety now still, it's still something, I think I'm going to have it for the rest of my life to some degree. But now it doesn't rule me, I can control it. Before I couldn't stay alone. I was afraid to, like my husband would go on travel. My mom would have to come sleep with me because I was afraid to be alone. I couldn't drive by myself because I had a panic attack driving. So it like really made my life very, very small. There was only so many things I could do comfortably to myself. And so, yeah, it definitely can be like extremely, extremely debilitating. Like it's more than just, your thoughts. Like it can make your life extremely limited. When it's
like you said, I like how you said that you rule, like it doesn't rule you anymore. I think it's that point when you start to change your life because of that disorder, or that, as far as like, oh, I can't travel anywhere, or I can't stay by myself. At that point, that's when, and I think that's what causes the depression side of it, because so many times anxiety and depression go hand in hand. I mean, they're almost always, they go, especially, I think more so if you have anxiety, eventually depression hits, right? Because it's starting to rule your life. But yeah, it definitely, the two go hand in hand. I want to talk about a couple of these statistics, as we were talking about that too. What are the statistics? Because I wasn't sure. And they said in here that 40 million people in the United States, which is about 18% of our population, experience anxiety disorder in any given year. So per year, you have 40 million people. That to me was staggering.
That's a ton of people. Yeah. Well, and like when I first got my first panic attack, I didn't even know what was going on. Like at first I thought I was like having a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
And then, that didn't happen. So I was like, okay. And then,
right. Yeah.
the next one came and it's like, am I losing my mind? Am I going to end up in a mental hospital? It's very isolating, especially like if no one in your family or like no one you know has either talked about it or, deals with it. And then like the more I started talking about it, I actually have like 4 or 5 people I work with that have similar experiences to me. So
I think what the saddest part about both of these, anxiety and depression, is the negative connotation that I think it doesn't get talked about, because it's like it's okay to have diabetes, it's okay to have disease or whatever, but it's not okay to have anxiety and depression for whatever reason. It's like there's this negative cloud that goes with it, like you should be able to take care of that. But we need to look at it in the same way that we look at any other type of physical ailment, and take that stigma away. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. One of the names are. That's right.
Polish name.
It's a Polish name. That's right. 8%, approximately 8% of children and teenagers experience an anxiety disorder, with most people developing symptoms before the age of 21. I think even more so that we're seeing it nowadays, especially with the pandemic. How many young kids?
Right.
Well, I feel like I was always an anxious kid too. Did you feel that way?
No, not really. I wouldn't say that I can pinpoint exactly, but it was when my kids were born. I would have never even thought about anxiety before that. So
and for me, like I could go back to like memories of when I was like 4 and 5, and I remember like if we would go somewhere and I didn't know where we were going, I would get scared and I would be like, where are we going? Do you have gas? Like are we gonna make it there? And that's like a lot of thinking for like a small kid.
I was going to say, that's not, I know, I mean, that I work with children every day. That is definitely not a typical normal thought that children should be having. Yeah,
especially then like you're with your parents, right? Like your safety there. Exactly. And I remember, I would get really nervous and I would need to pee. That would be my thing when I was a kid. I'd be like, I need the bathroom.
I need to go to the bathroom. Okay. Not that I would laugh at that, but okay.
I know.
That's kind of the funny aside, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
322 million people worldwide live with depression. That's according to the World Health Organization. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And then 17.3 million adults in the United States had at least one major depressive episode in 2017.
Wow.
That's about 7.1% of all U.S. adults. So crazy.
Well, that's pretty common.
It's common, right? So you would think for something that's so common that, number one, we'd have a better handle on it. Number two, that we wouldn't have this silly connotation that, there's something
accepting of it.
Exactly.
And
right.
help people instead of furthering the isolation.
So, that was
it's crazy. So many people have it, but then it feels so isolating, really.
Right. Yeah. I don't think people want to come out and actually say
I think a lot of people see admitting it like as a weakness.
Yes, absolutely.
Like it's my mind and I can't control it.
I think that's true. Yeah.
And actually, though, I do think that our younger kids, like I noticed it, like in my kids' generation, they seem to be a little bit better about talking about it. And maybe it's just because there's more, that's becoming more prevalent. And maybe with internet and social media and those kind of things. Maybe more accepting. I wonder sometimes how much social media plays into it and makes anxiety worse. I don't know. So I guess
and I think too, like just more people are coming out and telling their stories. Like you see a lot of celebrities coming out and basically saying like, I have this is, what I've dealt with. And I think that helps. I think a lot of people feel like, a celebrity, but when they speak out on things, it does help.
Yeah, because people look up to them, right? Yeah, and so it does say like, okay, well, look, they have it, then it can't be that bad that I'm having to deal with it as well.
Yes, and I'm not alone.
So what works for you? What works for you as far as like
what works for me?
Yeah, as far as what are you doing? Like, you say you have control of your anxiety now. Like, what do you do if you feel like an anxiety attack or panic attack coming on?
I think for me, the biggest key was just realizing like, it's not like I'm fine. Like even if I feel like crap and I'm nervous and I think I might be dying, like I've never died yet.
Right.
I've lived through like 7,000 deaths and I'm still here. And so like once I came to that realization, that I'm okay and I don't need, someone to be there with me and I don't need this and that and the other, like that helps. But another thing I do like to do is breathing. So I do it's like a form of like a mini meditation, but I really focus my breath here on my diaphragm.
Yep.
And I don't try and control my breathing, but I just like notice my stomach go up and down.
Okay.
So and like really put my focus there.
Okay.
And so then exercise. That's another big one. Like just burning off that energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, we've been told that for like how many years, that just getting some cardiovascular activity going for so many different things, but not just anxiety, but also for depression or just everything. Yeah, just your
my doctor actually told me that exercise has been clinically proven to be more effective than most antidepressants, you know.
Really? Wow. And I can see that. I can totally see that. I think we're really endorphins in our society to just want to take a pill. Let me take a pill to fix it. When there's so many other things that we probably could do that might be helpful. So excellent. Not that it's not I mean, it's okay if we need to have medication. That's
some people need medication. I totally believe that some people do need medication. And you know, I probably could have taken medication at some point in the past. I just was very afraid of side effects. Again, just another symptom of anxiety.
Right, and that will be one more thing to add to the anxiety, right? Yeah.
But if I take this pill and it makes me crazy, and I'm already crazy enough, and I don't need to be crazy,
Yeah, that's definitely the anxiety playing those those tricks on you in your mind, for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, I know it does. There's some medications that work really well for people, for sure. So
and I do have I do have a prescription for lorazepams, like if you know it gets so bad and I can't calm myself down. But I haven't taken one of those in probably 3 years.
Okay. Oh wow.
But I do have them with me all the time.
Right. Exactly. And you know, I love this because other friends that I have that have anxiety will say just knowing that they have it on them or have them actually can be what calms them down, right? And it kind of helps them. Not actually the pill itself, but just knowing that if they have to have it, it's there.
Yeah, if something can't, you know, if this can take it away, then okay.
Yeah, so then I'm fine. And then of course you realize, okay, I don't really need it. So yeah, which is nice that, you know, just that psychological impact.
Yes.
Okay, so we tasked Jacqueline, Joe tasked Jacqueline with coming up with 2 polishes to support this
Anxiety and Depression
Association of America.
Yes.
And why don't you tell them where did you come up with the ideas? Because this is Joe. This is all Joe. Joe came up with these. She designed these, which is awesome. So where did you come up with your idea?
So I started looking about like awareness ribbons and like awareness posters online, because everything has a ribbon and a poster these days. So I thought that's a good place to start. So I found a couple that I really, really liked, and the colors in them I thought were really pretty, and I just thought it really worked. So will you guys insert the pictures in?
I was just going to say it. I will be inserting the pictures. I was just going to have you like you found one for, and I can't remember now what they were, but we'll flash them in there. So one was
one was anxiety awareness, and one was depression awareness.
Great. Yeah. So, and like I said, they'll be inserted in there. Okay. And then what did you come up with, Jacqueline?
Well, I came up with the 2 polishes that were similar to the inspiration, the poster, and sent them to Joe, and one of them was wrong. It was the wrong pink, and Krista told me it was the wrong pink. So
it wasn't the wrong pink. It was a very pretty pink.
Just not bright enough. It wasn't what we were going for.
Right.
How about that?
I feel like the pink you gave me though is like Josephine in a bottle.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I knew it. As soon as she walked out of the house, she was coming out for a walk with me, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, I saw it a mile away. I'm like, that's the one.
So we went for version 2.0, which is the neon pink. It's like it's actually not quite straight neon. It has a little teeny tiny bit of white in it. So you have it right there.
Oh, she's got it too. All right. We have it.
We have it too. See, we have the matching.
On the camera. There
it is. Oh, it looks really light.
Yeah, it looks
camera.
Super light on there. That's weird. Bizarre. It's actually really bright neon. So we were going to go ahead and swatch it. So why don't you go that started? And so I'm going to have Jacqueline swatch it over there, and then we'll kind of maybe hold it up to the camera so we can see it. And then we'll talk about what the elements are. But I don't even know what the names are yet. Nobody's told me anything.
They're listed on the bottom.
Oh, I really like the names too.
Okay, so for this pink one, it's called Fight the Stigma. So, and so I was out of the loop on this one. Did you come up with who's?
Yes.
Oh, Joe.
Joe
Okay,
came
so
up
tell
with
me
the name.
about the name then, Joe. How did you come up with Fight the Stigma? Kind of like what we were just talking about, right?
Yes, I had, ever since I finally decided to like speak out, and like now that I've come on my YouTube channel and I talk about this issue, I've gotten so many messages from people like, I have anxiety, you've helped me so much, like thank you for talking about it. And so I feel like, you know, using your experiences to help other people. There's a thing I've seen where it says like, you recovering from something, it gives someone else the roadmap. And that really stuck to me. I'm like, you know, if all this suffering can be for something, you know, because I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Like if my suffering, somebody a lesson, like it's worth it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like the more we talk about it and the more we, you know, let our guard down and be vulnerable with other people, like, you know, people don't have to keep suffering in silence. Like if we can talk, hopefully they feel like they're empowered to talk too.
Well, especially like when you said that it was just having the anxiety itself was isolating. It made you feel isolated. So anything that we can do to make it so people aren't isolated has to help in some way for sure. So
yeah, I feel like if you're dealing with something, but you're not dealing with it alone, like it lifts, you know, it lifts some of the pressure off.
Absolutely. So what are the elements that are in this besides that hot pink neon?
This is...
She's watching it now.
Yeah, am I going to swatch it now? So this is Fight the Stigma, and it is a pink neon, a very, very bright pink neon. And it has a little itty bitty touch of holographic glitter in it. Not much.
Silver holographic?
Yes.
Okay.
And it has just a plethora of other colored glitters. There's blue and green and pink, and there might actually, there's black. There's little black squares.
Oh, I didn't realize there were black squares in
Yeah, there's little, and there's, the aqua squares too.
I mean, I swatched it before and I forgot that there was black in there.
Yeah, and there's aqua.
Okay.
And I'm having a hard time not hitting the camera, so.
Usually I always do the swatching, so I'm making her do the swatching today.
This is not my area of expertise here.
It's a new.
Okay, so that's the first coat of that one.
Awesome. All right, and I'm just gonna throw it over here too. So, but you know what? I don't want to show it over here.
No, you need to show it over here.
So we'll do it
just in this one. Yeah, and then
what's this one? So the second one is what you tell us about it, Joe.
So the second one is called Be Present.
I love that name, by the way.
I want a good explanation on that one, though. What do you mean by be present?
So like I was telling you, when I was really bad in my anxiety, I was always like in the future, you know, just always like what's coming next. Looking for the next thing to literally stress about. Like, okay, that passed. What's next? Let me come over here and find something else to stress about and grab it.
Awesome name. Okay.
And so one thing that I really, really have to focus on is like the right now, like be in this moment right now. Because when you worry about something in the future, like you're not doing anything. Like in my mind, worrying was planning. I don't know if that makes any sense to you whatsoever, but like if I would worry about something and play out all these like 1 million scenarios in my mind, it was like a form of planning.
Right. So you're justifying.
But really, it's not, you know, it's not accomplishing anything. It's just ruining the right now.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So I love that. So it's just a reminder to live in this moment, not the moments that
this moment is all we have. We can't go back to the past and fix anything that, you know, bothers us or our mistakes. And we can't go into the future and try and like create the perfect future. I mean, you can to a degree, but really like this moment is the only moment you have.
But I think it's interesting because there definitely is a difference between worrying and planning. There's a big difference.
But there's a fine line.
Yes, but there's definitely a difference between the two, right?
I agree.
You know,
but I feel like I used worrying as a form of planning. And then I would pick something to worry about and I would come up with the craziest, like I had a better chance of winning the lottery 3 times than like some of the scenarios I would come up with like, to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. All right. So tell us about it. What's in this one?
So it is a gray crelly.
Another gray crelly.
It's a gray crelly. Do you want me to show the bottle?
Well, she's got it over there. She's showing it. So you just go ahead and swatch it.
All right. It's a gray crelly and it has neon squares and hex in it. And
neon
it has,
what color though?
Oh, green.
Green, right? Neon green.
Neon green, and it has black everything in it.
Black everything?
Yeah, just
like
every
black
kind of not shards, but it has every kind of glitter that I own,
okay.
Which is a lot. There's squares and hex and circles, and
I really like that shade of gray too, because I mean, for me, I'm kind of picky about my grays, but that gray, I
am too.
Yeah.
But I thought it was perfect, and I was so excited because this reminds me of Halloween too, which
you're right.
Yes,
you're right.
Yes, it'll be a great.
I actually really love this one and want to wear it. Like I'm gonna put it on next, I think.
No, I actually swatched both of these, and oh my gosh, you guys, I did not want to take this off. Like, I walked around my whole house. I was showing my kids and my husband. I'm like, look at this one.
Yay!
And a picture to my sister.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, that pink one is definitely super pretty. I think it really picked up on the elements in both of the inspiration picks, which that's one thing I'm always impressed when Jacqueline does that she just seems to be able to tie in all the elements of whatever the inspiration pick is, and she gets it into a polish. There's got to be an art form, I think, to that, some form of art talent that I'm obviously missing. That you
it's the part of it that I like, and then she's always asking me what's in it and to describe it, and I'm like, I don't even know. I just threw a bunch of stuff in here.
She like goes into her little workroom and she starts pulling things out, and
I have to go I have to look in my notebook to tell you what's in it.
Yeah, because one time when we finally get through
like
this,
polish fairy making the, like, what's the movie with the three fairies? Sleeping Beauty.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny because I just like go up there and like make polish, and I tell my husband, I'm like, I need to go make some polish because I need some downtime, and I'm not necessarily making it for anything. Like, I made this, and it's kind of bland in there, but it's really bright green.
Oh yeah, no, it's super bright.
It's really bright green.
The lighting in here is really
I know
good.
It's bad, but I'll send you a picture of it.
Yeah, okay. I know. And then she'll come out and she'll show me, and I'll be like, oh, is that going? Are we going to sell that one? She's like, no, I just made it for me. I'm like, no, you can't show me these pretty polishes and then not share them. That's wrong.
Well,
okay, so
I have 2 coats.
So like I said, I'm going to be in.
Yeah, I have 2 coats, and it looks pretty good on 2 coats. So I don't know. What did you find? What did you need 3?
I thought the formulas were really good. The pink, I was able to get opaque in 2 coats. I got beautiful glitter payoff, you guys. Like, excellent glitter payoff. The color is so. It just popped off my skin. I'm ready for summer, ready for everything. And then on the gray, I believe I was able to also get opaque on 2 coats with this. My nails are shorter now, so do keep that in mind. But again, like, beautiful glitter payoff. I'm not usually a gray polish person, you guys, but OMG. Like, as soon as I pulled this out of the package, I was like, and I feel like we just hit the inspiration picture like so good on both of them. Like, blown away. I was really blown away.
So Jacqueline, tell us, how much are they going to be?
They're going to be $8.50 on my website and $9 on Etsy.
Okay, and we've talked about that before.
Yes,
so it's Etsy.
It costs me more to do Etsy, so I want to be able to give the money away. So I'm passing the buck on to you.
All right, and we'll link all that information to both her Restored Naturally site and then also and the Etsy website as well, so you can go to.
Well, and I think that it's really neat that we're doing this particular pair because it does affect so many people.
Absolutely.
The set is so relevant.
Yes.
And I really like that, and I'm excited that you wanted to do this with us. And
I know, I'm so excited you guys asked me. I just feel like this is another way again to like just share, that you're not alone. And like, I know a lot of polish ladies, it seems like a lot of people into polish do have anxiety issues, and polish relaxes them.
Yeah, exactly. And that was part of the whole reason why I came up with the idea of Restored by Polish, right?
Right. That was the name. Well, you took part of my name and then added the by Polish.
Exactly, right, yeah. But I mean, I feel like that for me, for sure, that polish definitely restores me mentally, like for sure. And then because of that, I'm restored mentally. My physical sense is better. Like I know I feel better physically because mentally I'm better. And I think it's sort of the same thing you get when you're creating the polish.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So I think how you gals like to like put it on and wear it, that's equivalent to me making it. Like, I get the excitement out of buying all the elements and putting it all together and then blending it and going, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then I wear it, but I get the joy and excitement out of making it. That's the creation part for me.
Yeah, and I feel too like just having like really nice nails. Like when you look good, you feel good, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I 1000% agree with that. Yeah, you've got, if you don't want anyone look in the mirror, you're never going to feel good across the board. Yeah, you got to be able to be happy with what, you know. And also I think if you just look at your nails and looking at your nails makes you happy, I mean, that makes a difference.
Yeah, for me, not being a nail polish wearer my whole life, I think that my nails look, my mom would be so proud of me.
I was gonna say, she's got like gorgeous nails.
My mom would be so proud of me. She used to grab my hands when I was a teenager and look at them, and she'd be like, oh, can you please fix your nails? She's like, would you just shape them, cut them, do something with them?
See, now they're gorgeous.
She would love this. She would be like, oh, she would be overjoyed that I'm taking care of my nails.
That's good. Yeah, I know.
That was the effect we had on her, Joe. Right? We got her to take care of her nails. So, all right. Any other comments that you want to add about anxiety, depression?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys for asking me to join in with you. This was like so fun, and now that I had been in my recovery, I was like in a funk, and it just like brightened up my recovery a little bit. So I do want to thank you guys for that so much. Yay. And being patient, because I felt like I was like literally like
absolutely,
you guys were just waiting, and so I appreciate
that you've been able to do it, and that we're going to be helping out in some way. And we thank you so much for putting yourself out there, right, and opening up and wanting to be a part of this, and we'll keep you updated and everybody else updated on how much we get to do.
How much we raise.
It's kind of fun.
I hope we raise a lot. And you guys, these polishes are so pretty. Like, to everybody watching, like, they're so pretty. So please, if you guys like polishes like I do and you like have similar style to me, definitely go pick these up because they're so my style.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe.
You guys too have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye.